I was going through middle school and the start of high school, I used to have like no confidence. I think my confidence was actually in the negatives because it used to be kind of a little bit higher when I was like younger and I was like always playing sports and stuff. And then when I got to middle school, that just tanked, man. Like I had zero confidence and I was extremely insecure. And I remember going through that time when people were kind of like starting to get into relationships and stuff. And I remember thinking that that would fix my problem. If I was in a relationship, all my insecurities would magically go away and my confidence would just skyrocket. And I see that with a lot of people. They think if they get into a relationship, their life will magically change. But you don't need a relationship right now, especially if you are going through a phase of your life where you're extremely insecure and you don't have a lot of confidence. A relationship is not going to fix your problem. A relationship is not the answer, but there is something you can do that will change the entire course of your life, and that is taking some time to figure out what your purpose is. My name is Colby Wallace, and I'm an 18-year-old artist from Canada, currently traveling in Australia. And music is the thing that I love more than anything in this world. It has been pretty much my life since I turned 13. It's been something that I've spent countless hours practicing, playing, listening to, and making money at it, doing work online, live gigs, studio sessions. Like I've done a lot with music, especially for my age, and a lot of writing as well. And it's something that has given my life purpose. The only reason I started this YouTube channel was for music, and it's turned into kind of a different thing now, but it's still related to my core purpose, and that's what I do, and that's music. So the way I see purpose and what I mean when I say that is whatever you're working on in your life right now, the core thing that you spend most of your time on, the thing that when you wake up in the morning, you're already thinking about it. You're always constantly getting new ideas about it. You're constantly willing to work at it and get better. And the thing is, most people in life never find their purpose. They may have a purpose, but it's not their purpose. It's not the thing they're doing that would give them the most fulfillment. A purpose is pretty much just the thing that you do that makes you present. It's something that puts you in a flow state. A flow state is kind of like what athletes say being in the zone is. It's like when you're just kind of doing something and you don't really have any thoughts. For me, speaking is a big one. When I turn on this camera, I don't even have a script for this video, and I've just been talking and just letting the ideas flow out of me. And when I do this, time doesn't really exist. It just kind of fades away. It's the same when I'm writing. I can sit down for like 3 hours and work on like 3 different songs, and all that time just molds into kind of one, and I'm just focused on what I'm doing. I'm not anxious about the future or worrying about the past. I'm 100% focused on what I'm doing. And this makes your work and this makes your life while you do this thing so enjoyable, because the best times in our life are when time doesn't seem to really exist. It just passes by. Like when we were kids, you would be playing on the McDonald's play place or something, then your parents would tell you it's time to go. Then you'd have a tantrum because you've been there and you're having so much fun and you don't want to leave, and time just kind of flew by. Or when your parents would say you have 15 more minutes, and then the 15 minutes feels like 1 minute. That's enjoyable time. That's something that's actually giving you presence and giving you fulfillment, versus when you're doing a task where it feels like every minute is a lifetime. Like I know a lot of people, for the jobs that they work or what they're studying, they just can't stand to do that thing. And that is simply because they're doing a purpose that isn't necessarily authentic with who they are and who they want to become. And that's fine if you're okay with that and you're willing to live that kind of life. But for most people, aligning themselves with their purpose is going to make them so much more fulfilled. And the thing that I've seen, especially a lot of young guys look for, is they look for that feeling that purpose gives them in terms of a relationship. They think that when they get that relationship, they'll be happy, and they're trying to shift their priority and this need for focus and this need for progression in terms of a relationship, because no one's ever sat them down and explained, hey, if you find your purpose, your whole life is going to change because you're going to have something to do. And when we don't have something to do, we often look for things that can fill that void but don't actually fill it. It's like when we look for a relationship, when there's guys who are super attached and super needy and always want to spend time with whoever they're in a relationship with, that's because they don't have anything else that they're working on in their life. They don't have their purpose, and they're trying to align their relationship as their purpose. They're putting all their time into that. But the thing is, our relationship can't be your main purpose in life, at least when you're young right now. Like, obviously marriage is like a whole different thing, but you can't expect a high school relationship to be all that you do. You need to find something that you're passionate about and can fill your days and can give you that thing to work on, because it'll be your foundation. And if you don't have a solid foundation, no relationships or nothing else you get in life will be able to sustain itself, because if you don't have that foundation, the things you try and build on it are going to collapse. And even if that foundation is a little bit shaky, eventually it's going to collapse, and then everything else is just going to spiral down. And you need that base, you need that thing that gives you fulfillment, because it's pretty much aligned with who you are. A lot of people say it's bad to have something that you define yourself as, like if you say you're a basketball player or something, and you have to have this idea to be detached from your purpose and know that if something goes wrong, that it's not an accurate reflection of who you are. But in terms of a confidence perspective and in terms of a fulfillment perspective, having a purpose is pretty much the best thing that you can do for your life, because you have something that gives you meaning, you have something that brings you fulfillment. And when you have a purpose that you're passionate about, a lot of the issues that you have with insecurity, they kind of tend to go away. They kind of tend to lessen, because you're on your purpose and you're working on something that's aligned with who you are. It's like when someone asks you a question that you're passionate about, you don't really think about what they're saying is going to judge you. No, you just start talking about it because you're passionate about it. That's back to that flow state that I talked about in the beginning. You need to find something, and it takes some time to actually work on it, and it takes some time to develop it, and take some time to figure out what you want to do, because you can't just like instantly have your purpose unless you already know it. It sometimes takes some time to like really think and reflect on it. But once you find it, your whole life will change, because you're going to start spending time doing that thing, and you're going to be actually doing things that you enjoy, like you genuinely enjoy doing, instead of just studying subjects you're not interested in. You're going to be making progress towards something that fulfills you, and you're going to be willing to work hard at it. A lot of people are searching for the key to laziness and finding motivation, but motivation isn't worth shit if you don't have something that you're actually passionate about. It's hard to be motivated to do things you don't actually like, but when you have something you're like genuinely passionate about, you can develop discipline to get through those hard days, because even on your purpose, it's not always going to be enjoyable. There's going to be hard times, and there's going to be things that are genuinely difficult. But if you find something that you love, it's going to fill that void that you're trying to look for in terms of replacing it with a relationship. With that being said, if you don't know already, my name is Colby Wallace, and if you like this kind of content, you want to hear some more talks like this, want to hear some of my original music, might as well subscribe. Not sure what you're waiting for. It's a win for you, it's a win for me, it's a win for everybody. Also, if you want to join our free community that will teach you how to break your phone addiction and actually find your purpose, a free link for that is in the description. My original music is also in the description. With that being said, I have nothing more to say except never stop creating, my friend, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.